Believers, in this video, I want to briefly elaborate on how to recognize delusional people. I've made videos about what's delusional already, but it's a quick reminder. My previous videos about delusions, you can watch them and learn from them, but this is just a quick reminder to you. Delusional people are dangerous to be around. They bring harm, they bring tension, they bring confusion. Now, what is a delusional individual or a delusional group? Because groups are often more delusional than individuals. It's easier to get the whole crowd to be deluded than it is to get an individual deluded. Remember that. Crowds are often more delusional than individuals. Because the individual, when they encounter facts in reality that are shocking, they're reminded of their own vulnerability and their mortal body. So they will get to their senses more quicker than a whole group that has each other to rely on. Not that groups are bad, but groups can be turned to delusions. Now, okay. A delusional individual is different from someone that's stubborn. Someone that's stubborn, they have a strong conviction about something that worked for them. And because it worked for them, they think it will work now. For example, you may have someone who is determined to enforce restrictions on other people. They call it enforcing boundaries. So he's so convinced that controlling others will keep him safe. Even though on the long run, controlling people will set you up to be used by demons. But because he lacks proper knowledge, he thinks that controlling other people, as long as you do it out of self-protection, is correct. Because that's what the world tells you. Stand up for yourself, enforce boundaries, privacy, blah, 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 even though none of those things exist. The individual has an experience that worked for him. Maybe there was this guy that tried to knock him out and he enforced a restriction and he was not knocked out. So that's his evidence. So there's some evidence somewhere that whatever he thinks worked for him, therefore he holds on to it. So when you tell him the thing is wrong, he will resist it because he thinks, hey, this has worked. Here's evidence it worked. But when you tell them, oh, but that controlling will deform you, now he has new information. And now he needs time to process this new information. Eventually realize, indeed, controlling other people is not the way to go. As a fragile creature, I need power. And me pretending to be in charge may have a psychological effect in some cases, but not always. That's stubborn. With delusional, there's not even a conviction that something works. Let me explain. When someone is stubborn, it's because whatever they agree with has worked out at some point in time, and they use this past success to justify the method today. But the only reason they justify that past method is because they lack proper understanding of what they were involved in. That's how you end up with stubborn people. Okay? But people that are stubborn, at least they want to make sense and they want to be real. But with someone that's delusional, most of the time they're not even convinced that what they want is really going to work out. They're not convinced at all. So why are they so determined on it? It's because they want an escape. Delusional people just want an escape. That's all they want. So a delusional individual will go against reality. They will go against their own senses. They will endanger themselves, endanger others, whatever it takes to get that relief that they had things on their terms. Let me give an example. You may have a man beating his wife. And he knows very well that it's not right to beat your wife. It's not going to solve anything. It's going to bring more trauma to the household. So he knows very well there is no way he can justify this. But he keeps on doing it because he claims, well, this is my house. I should be respected around here. Where I'm from, we don't take bullshit. You mean, he may come with all these statements to justify his violent behavior, knowing very well that none of the statements add up. He doesn't even want to add up. He doesn't even want to make sense. He doesn't even want to be real. Therefore, he doesn't even want a solution. He just wants to dump frustration. He just doesn't want to deal with life. In life, you ought to be flexible and practical. You can't just make up your mind and for some reason, well, I just made up my mind, that's it. If it's sunny now, outside, it's dry, and you make up your mind, I'm going to wear a sweater or not swear, you come to wear a thin t-shirt, and then an hour later, it's raining and storming outside, are you going to say, well, I've made up my mind, and you're going to walk out there, make yourself sick? Or what if it's snowing, and according to the weather forecast, after 3 days it will stop snowing. Now you're 5 days later, and it's stormy becomes worse. Are you going to say, you know what, I've made up my mind, and you're going into your car anyway, despite there being a snowstorm out there? No. And I will tell you, sit down, examine the situation, and adapt. Your will is not relevant. The weather is not in harmony with what you want. So if you continue with what you want, you will endanger yourself and others. So adapt, right? Someone that's delusional will say, no. I've made up my mind. So I decided. So who are you to go against my will? And they will even attack you for so-called attacking them. Well, you didn't attack them, just showed them what you want doesn't add up. So you may have wife beaters, people that abuse children, or you may have child rapists. You may have all types of vile people. They begin to cry like a little baby crying, hurting, because you challenge their will. That's how delusional people are. Now, not all delusional people are directly involved in such foul actions. But eventually, every individual that's delusional will end up enabling vile predators. Why? Because they're not real. Look, if I'm in my car driving and there's a typhoon coming, I use the word typhoon because I'm in Asia, there's a typhoon coming, there's heavy rain, I'll put my car aside, and if I can't take the public transport, I'll stay where I am. I'm not forcing myself on the road despite there's a typhoon coming. Anyone will say, well, Rashid, you're out of your mind. Why are you endangering yourself? Don't you value your own life? But here's the thing, believers. Delusional people don't value their own life. The only thing they value is the relief of being right, the relief of being gratified. Their gratification is above all. They are playing God and they want to be gratified for it. And they want to feel good about playing God, not having to account for the bad consequences that afflict others, including themselves. Delusional people are dangerous. So never, ever discuss, argue, nor fight with someone that's delusional, because it will backfire on you. They will attack you. And if they can't hit you, they will go around like little hoes crying for attention, then attack other people. That's what they do. Someone that's stubborn, you take a step back and they will reflect and they will realize eventually, I need to change my inflexible attitude. It's not realistic. Discern someone that's stubborn for someone that's delusional. Someone that's stubborn, to some extent you can deal with them. But someone that is delusional, lower contact immediately, and if possible, break all contact. Because someone that's delusional, I'm telling you, don't think you can outsmart them. They are dangerous. You hear me? Dangerous. Christ himself did not put up with delusional people, and he's God himself. Even though those delusional people are not a threat to him, he does not want to enable their dumping and their harming. So why would you, a vulnerable creature dependent on the Most High, enable them? Don't. Don't put them in their place. Don't correct them. Don't resist them. Just shake them off of you. And if it's a group that's delusional, make sure you avoid being the focus of attention of that group. Because crowds that are delusional, oh Lord, they lose it. Think about the United States, what's going on with Trump supporters now, and with those left-wing extremist groups. Don't come with logic, don't come with facts. They just want to dump. That's the whole thing they're interested in. They want to play God by dumping on whoever they want and feel good about it. Such people, do not hate them, do not dislike them, do not form any aversive attachment towards them. Shake them off. Continue in the love of God. Be at peace.